Hello everyone, welcome and happy Thanksgiving wherever in the world that you are celebrating this, and it's a great opportunity to celebrate here as well that we don't have such celebration. How are you, Natalia?
Fine, thank you.
Thank you for accepting my invitation and joining me live in this series where we discuss about successful colleagues who were able to reach their goals, and maybe by sharing your story we will be able also to inspire and motivate other colleagues to go after their dreams. So if you
Yeah.
have opened the Facebook or anywhere else, you can switch off, Natalia, while we're live, because we hear a recon.
Okay.
Do you have it open somewhere? Because I hear my
No.
voice. Oh, okay. So you have closed both your Facebook, LinkedIn, everything?
Yeah, everything's closed.
Perfect. So hello everyone. Let us know in the chat where are you watching us from and what you would like to ask about this specific topic, because that's a very hot topic. And it was a great opportunity because I know in Italy it's a taboo in many countries. It's a topic that people they don't really like to talk about their success or financial success or how do they price their services. So I thought it's a great opportunity to actually short, because it's going to be very short video, at least touch the topic with the opportunity of your success. And you're a mom for the third time, so
Yeah.
congratulations on this.
Thank you.
That's, I
Thank you
think, the
very much.
best, if we can say, accomplishment of yours and achievement in this life. At least that's how I see it. And
Yeah.
then as a secondary is the fact that you, at least in my point, the fact that you actually were able to achieve your goals and reach your financial freedom, let's say. So would you like to start by introducing yourself to those that they might not know you already?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect.
I'm Natalia Betelli. I have been working as a freelance translator for the past 12 years. I work from English and Spanish into Italian, but over time I also started my own boutique agency, let's say. So I outsource a lot of the work that comes in. And yeah, that's basically it. I specialize in legal, certified official translations. So I have clients from all over the world, and they mainly do business in Italy. And yeah, some days ago, I decided to share this, let's say, success story because I wanted to basically inspire people, let them understand that this is something that's doable, even though you do not live in the United States. Because I think this is the
Exactly.
this is the
I don't
important thing
live
to say.
exactly because I don't live in the United States myself included. I'm in Athens, you are in Italy, but you have an interesting story you mentioned in your bio that you were in the US before you decided to actually come back to your home country, Italy, and then create your own business there.
Yeah.
I would like to expand a bit more. When did you decide to create a boutique agency? And the main question I got from the audience is actually, do you think it's the only way for someone to reach a six-figure business only if they create a company like a boutique agency and they outsource? Or do you think that's something doable for someone like as a solopreneur working from home? That's a very common question I get asked.
So I think that the decision of outsourcing is not really something you do because of the money it can potentially make. For me, the most important thing was always freedom. Freedom can be time freedom, but it can also be financial freedom. So if you want to have both time freedom and financial freedom, I think the only thing you can do is outsourcing. Because otherwise, yes, you can have very high rates. I'm not saying that there aren't colleagues who are charging premium rates. I know that there are. But at the same time, it still means you are doing the work. And I always knew that at some point I wanted to, maybe change the kind of work I was doing, maybe not need to be present 24/7. And of course, this goes hand in hand with, the decision to have 3 children. So if you just want to be present in their life, you need to have time.
Yeah.
But if you want to maintain the same kind of income, then you need to devise other ways. You can outsource your childcaring or you can outsource your work. But
So
something has to
yeah,
give.
let's take it a step by step because people are very curious. So you recently shared live online, I mean, on social media, that you reached that actually level of success in your business. That's something that really motivates other people and inspire, because most people, they tell me whenever I'm telling them that during my program, that people might be able to reach 10K months. That's proven. I have people on my YouTube channel, so that they actually live share that they were able to reach 10K months before the program ends. So that's something that you can do. The first reason I invite you here is to show people that that's doable. You can do it. Either
Yes.
you join a mentoring program, either you decide to work with different coaches, either you decide to do it on your own. Definitely it's something that you can do. Let's at least have something as a taken from today's life that's doable. You can do it either as a solopreneur or as a small boutique owner, or by just outsourcing. It's not the fact that you outsource the only reason or the only way to go to a six-figure business, but that's one way that Natalia did it today. That's at least
Yeah.
my approach. And you mentioned something really interesting about the time freedom and money freedom, because for me, freedom is freedom. When I talk about freedom, and the reason why I start mentoring other people is to tell them, I did it, you can do it, Natalia did it, anyone can do it, as long as you put action, the things that you have your ideas into action, because implementation is really, really important. So first of all, to realize that we can do it, because some people, they tell me, Natalia, that my language is very competitive, the rates are very low, I cannot, reach a six-figure, five-figure months because, for example, my specialization is not that profitable. So people and translators, they find so many excuses to actually hold themselves back from taking the action that is needed to see the results that they want in their business and finally in their life. Because you mentioned freedom, and freedom for me is really important. And when we talk about freedom, for me, it's also about money, it's also about time, and it's also about decision. You will be able to take the decisions that you want for your life. Like, you would like to travel, you can travel. You would like to work 12 hours, you can work 12 hours. Would you like to work 3 hours? You can work 3 hours, as long as you have established that kind of freedom, let's say, financially first, so as you to be able to support any other kind of freedom, like time freedom, travel freedom, whatever is the freedom that all of us, okay, we have in our head as defined as freedom and success, because freedom and success is very different for all of us. But being able to take decisions, definitely that's the most important. So Ileana here says I can confirm that's possible also as a solopreneur. So Ileana, she's also Italian, she's based in Italy, she did it as a solopreneur without a boutique agency. So guys, here we are going to talk. Amazing. So how can I find direct clients with competitive rates? Okay, so let's start with your story. Since we have questions, as you see here, Natalia, in the chat. I don't know if you're able to see the questions.
Yeah. I see
Okay,
them.
perfect. So people are curious. Let's start with your own story. Share your own experience.
Yeah.
Okay, how you did it shortly, of course, shortly,
Yeah.
and then we go to answer the questions.
So, my story, how I started, you mean, or just directly with how I found direct clients? Because I think they are related.
Yeah, they're related, and you can start with the first one. How did you start?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we can go to how you did it, and you were able to reach a six-figure business.
Okay, so I started with an agency. I did an internship in an agency. Then, at the end of the internship, I didn't accept their contract. I decided to be self employed, and they were my first remote, let's say, client. Then I started looking for more direct clients. I very quickly realized that since I do not live in a very big city, then the local market would not support me. So I started looking outside for other clients. I basically sent thousands, I think, of emails to agencies for the first years, understanding when the best times to find work were. So, for example, Christmas, the holidays. In Italy, nobody's working in August. So the more seasoned translators will not be working in August. If you're a young translator, maybe this is the time to be discovered by a new agency. So these were the experiments I did. Of course, I also did other kinds of jobs because I wanted to launch my career, but at the same time, I wanted to support myself. And I think this is important to consider. You do not need to be discouraged because at the beginning you don't have enough work to support yourself. There's no shame in doing something else if you also need to do that. And then I think I found direct clients by basically doing things, understanding what my niche was. At some point, when I started serving more clients, I basically grouped them into different groups. I realized what my main interest was, and then I went after them. So this was the strategy. The only thing I can say is that you need to start from something, from somewhere. That will lead to something else, and then you have to connect the dots from time to time. I think then that this is not enough. This is just the beginning. Then you come to a certain point when, especially, you are an advanced freelancer, and this is where coaching and mentoring comes in, that you need a push. That at the time, so when I met you, Virginia,
it was like 2 years ago. I didn't.
2 years back, we were in lockdown.
2 years back, amazing, yeah.
2 years back, and my business was completely stalled because of the lockdown, because of the fact that courts were closed and I couldn't do any official translations, and I was feeling lost. So I thought, what can I do that is different from what I've been doing up to now?
Can I ask you, you had already started gathering, as you mentioned previously, that you had gathered the types of clients that you were working. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did I get it
Yes.
right? What
Yes.
were the criteria to gather them? Can you a bit explain this?
Yeah. So one day I basically looked at all the clients I had been working with, and I saw that they fell into three main categories. I had lawyers and professionals, and then I had companies, and then I had private individuals. I started thinking about what kinds of services I was offering them and what was the most important client for me. And so, I quickly realized that in my case, for example, I preferred working with professionals and lawyers because they didn't need to be convinced of my value. I didn't need to explain too much.
Exactly.
They are professionals themselves, so they are not really pushing back against your rates too much. So this was another consideration. You need to choose, I think, your direct clients well. So of course, if you see that your niche, let's say, the niche you're choosing is continuously pushing back, this is probably not the right niche. You should be looking for something else. So I'm not saying drop all your clients at once, but it doesn't make sense to continue working with a specific kind of client. Just look at something better.
You were lucky, let's say, in the aspect that you had some experience already, so you had some clients, so you were clever enough to evaluate your existing business model, to see your existing clients, and to realize your, let's say, most profitable niche, and the niche that you made you more, let's say, satisfied, fulfilled, or happy with the way that you work with those people. That's very clever to do, because some people, they don't do even if they have such a database of existing clients. The trickiest, let's say, part is for those that they don't have. So they start out. So we have such a question in the chat that they are telling us how we can find, clients that they have, let's say, better rates. So you can start with existing ones that you have. You don't need to drop all of the bottom feeders, but you can start evaluating and see who is accepting your values, as you mentioned already, who values, let's say, your work without asking or negotiating your rates, without too much back and forth communication. And then put them as a priority as opposed to your marketing activities. At least that's how I understand. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, it is.
So let's say right now, because some people, so you did that, it was really clever. Let's go back to 2020. I can shortly share my point of view for the story, that how we met, and then you can share your own, because we didn't prepare, guys. That's a really spontaneous live that we have here today. So I remember that I had started my mentoring more professional back in 2020, which actually initiated also a second business because there was a need. Many people, they were coming to me asking for the service that up to then I was like either spontaneously offering or ad hoc or voluntary. So I didn't have established a company to do this, but because of the need and the actual people asking me to do that, I initiated the business and started doing that, let's say, officially with the Fully Booked Translator Formula, the 12-week business mentoring program, and so on. Before that, I think, though, Natalia, you found out an offer that I had back then, because I really would like to help people that they didn't have the budget or the time to join a 12-week program, which is a 3-month program. It was like a session where I was actually selling and giving away the content of a 12-week program, but in a package, let's say, and we had additional, I think, one call and the feedback call and the feedback written, something so as for you to be able to start your strategy, to create your strategy with the material, and definitely to have your profile reviewed. Do I remember correct?
Yes, it was a LinkedIn package that I chose, and if I remember correctly, yes, you had different packages, and I chose that one. Yeah.
Different packages for different people. So it was a short version, let's say, of the ultimate LinkedIn prospecting system, which is the second, let's say, business mentoring program, is a fully booked translator formula using LinkedIn, actually. And we did that in a very short version. I was really surprised by your, let's say, you were already ready to do this, Natalia. So I knew that you had, let's say, the knowledge. I knew that you had everything that you needed. But at some point, you felt somehow stuck. And maybe also this material that I shared with you gave you a push also maybe to do it more professionally on LinkedIn. What was it? Or you didn't use LinkedIn by then?
No, I had used LinkedIn. I think the thing that really pushed me to make this kind of investment, let's say in the coaching, in the mentoring session, was that so my business was stalled by the lockdown, and what I realized was that I did something wrong, but I didn't know what, and I wanted to look for someone who had let's say, a different experience, someone who had an international presence. Because what I understood was that I had only a local market, and the Italian market at the time was locked. So I wanted someone else, and this is how I found you. And then I realized that LinkedIn could be the way to, work to find new clients. I implemented what you suggested, and I found clients. I landed my best clients during that time.
And you
This
got back
really changed. This really changed the course of everything.
You got back your investment multiple times, I guess.
Yeah.
And I experienced the same situation as Natalia, Cecilia, and Virginia saved me and my business because, for the records, Italy was the first country hit by the pandemic. For the records, also for those that don't know it, the Italian market, translation market, is, let's say, saturated some region. There are many, many translators there, and I have encountered that myself, helping so many Italian colleagues. So there was a situation of it's easy for a company, a small company, to feel stuck at some point, especially because of the environment or economy situation, and because of the fact that the industry itself is, let's say, crowded at some point.
Yes.
So I feel you, and I see your point here. Maybe also some other Italian people that they are watching us, maybe they feel the same, and they feel like you, and you found a way to get unstuck fast, let's say, and you saw the problem when it was at the beginning. So I think that's also one reason why you were able to get unstuck that fast, apart from the fact that you were already prepared because of your, let's say, business mindset. So you got back the investment, I suppose, multiple times of this program by getting clients online and through LinkedIn. So that's great. That's really inspiring for people that they're afraid to use LinkedIn or they are afraid to invest in a mentoring program. What would you tell them?
I would say that mentoring and coaching in general are excellent ways to get unstuck and get to the next level in business. Probably what I would say is that if you are really at the beginning of your career, I wouldn't recommend it, but just simply because you don't really have the expertise you need, or you don't really, I don't know. I mean, there's so many things you don't know. I see coaching and mentoring as something that can really pay dividends fast when you are past a certain level of experience. Not of income, of experience.
Yeah, I can tell you my opinion on this because I have helped hundreds of colleagues. Right now, for example, every round of the 3-month program has over 10, 15 people. So imagine I run this program 3 or 4 times per year for the last, let's say, so many years. So definitely I can tell you. Yes, I agree with you, because most people, they think that mentoring is for starting out translators. So this is great that you mentioned that mentoring or participating in a mentoring program is not only for starting out translators or people who do not know what they do. It's equally beneficial and maybe more beneficial for people who have been tested in the market, maybe, and they have tried things around, or maybe they know what it works for them or not, and they are, let's say, mature enough and coachable to be able to accept such an advice and to skyrocket their success, business, and finance, let's say, growth. But because I have live people that they joined my program as newly graduated with zero, literally zero experience in the industry, not a CV, not one client. They've been telling me maybe we can have Mario also, because also I have other people, Mira, and also other people in my YouTube channel that they share the same. They say and they write that in their testimonial and their live videos. It was the best thing they invested in their career to start it, because when you start, you have different needs. You don't know how the market works. So maybe that's my point of view, and other people they have joined, maybe they can attest that as well. When you are starting out, you have different needs, you have zero experience of the market. So the program helps you to start, let's say, and fast track your progress in the market, instead of making such many mistakes that we did, both of us, and maybe people who started so many years ago. So it saves you some time, at least for having the right CV written, the right marketing material written, a LinkedIn profile created from scratch, and a website created from things that, for me at least, Natalia, when I started out, it took me 1 year to write a CV, and I have that in a presentation of mine. 1 year to write a CV. I couldn't find any information online on how to write, let's say, a professional CV for a freelancer here in Greece, especially for our industry. Nowadays, people, they have access, and graduates, they have access to such resources. Still, though, it's really difficult for them to get their first client. And instead of looking around how to find the one good client and become, let's say, victim of scammers, I would prefer, let's say, or I would suggest them to ask someone with more experience, either not officially in a mentoring program, but even unofficially, ask people, ask more experienced people. Don't fall into the trap of working for bottom feeders, for people they don't value you and they don't pay you. So I think depending on the stage that you are in the business or the industry, a mentoring program can help you. Not all mentoring programs are for everyone, but a mentoring program, especially for starting out translators, really helps them to become established in the industry faster. And I've seen that happening in 3 months, 6 months. People, they create their businesses, they are already hired, or they have already multiple clients. Starting out, like I think it was the last round, Erika Mazzamuto, she mentioned she got 4 clients in less than 3 months. 4 clients, 2 direct clients and 2 agencies. Imagine as a starting out translators to get direct clients. Because for us it was really difficult, and I assume people with a lot of experience is also really difficult for them to get into the direct clients market. So yes, that's a discussion, to go on. But thank you for sharing your insights, that you think that mentoring programs are for people that they have been for some years in the industry. And most people, they think that mentoring programs are for people that they're struggling, or people they cannot have clients, or people they cannot make money. I would say the opposite. People like you with a business mindset, that they have done already some progress in their business and some, let's say, results when it comes to finance, it's even better for them to skyrocket and reach the 6-figure or even higher goals financial. At least that's my point of view. Would you like to add something else, Natalia, to this?
Well, I think it's, the way to approach this is that this is an investment. It's not an expense. So in general, this is something, and it's true, I think, for any kind of mentoring, coaching program. You need to think of this, it's a long-term career that you're building here. So there will naturally be moments where you don't know what you're doing. And the fact that we are working alone doesn't really help. So instead of working alone all the time, you can think of devoting some of this money to this kind of thing. Because I think, of course, I've been reading business books and stuff, but it's not the same, because business books can offer you ideas, but then in the end you have to draw your own conclusions. Whereas by talking to someone else who's been there, who's more successful than you can use them as an inspiration, and you can try and understand if there is something they do that is applicable to your reality. And this is true, as you said, it's not only in paid
Oops, I lost you. Can you hear me, Natalia? Can you hear me? Can you repeat the last sentence?
If this is the right way to go for you.
Natalia, can you hear me? Natalia, can you hear me?
Okay, I can see you now.
Okay, it was lost. The network had some issues. Can you repeat your last sentence?
I just said it's not only, as you said, it's not only in paid mentorship or coaching programs. It's also informally. Just reach out to colleagues, and also online if you don't know any, like in real life, and ask them to share their experiences. We all started somewhere. There is no shaming anything.
So can I ask you last question? What is your most, let's say, efficient way of getting clients nowadays? Like currently, is it LinkedIn? Is it what is your main, like, most favorite client acquisition strategy?
My website and blog.
Oh wow! So you use a lot on content marketing, is that correct?
Yes, I started with content marketing. It always drove most traffic for me.
Wow.
And, I apply this 20-80% rule. So I always focus mostly on my blog. I have two websites. So for next year, I'm working on improving my English website.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's basically blogging and content marketing.
How many views you might get on your traffic on your website? I'm curious on this.
So, for example, for the Italian website, and I'm getting 4,500 a month, which may not seem a lot, but it's the Italian market, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a niche, and it's organic, so I don't pay to get traffic.
I don't know if you can see.
And in 2020, it was much less. I took an SEO course.
Mm-hmm.
I started changing the way I was writing blog posts and stuff, and things really skyrocketed. So it's not huge,
Yeah.
but what we must remember is that we don't need huge numbers.
We
This
need
is also,
quality. We need
you
quality.
need quality leads, you need
Exactly.
quality prospects, but you don't need huge numbers.
And
So
yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Your website is found by, let's say, or through online methods or through your blog.
My website is mostly found through my blog.
Okay.
And the upside of blogging is that maybe even if you only get 300 visitors a month,
Yeah.
which is what I'm getting from my English website,
Mm-hmm.
by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why I'm working on it.
Mm-hmm.
The idea is that these people are pre-qualified. I don't need 10,000 visitors looking for a free translator. Okay,
Definitely.
I need only maybe 300, and out of those 300, 10 will maybe ask for a quote, and 8 will accept it.
Yeah.
So the important thing, the parameters to watch for, I think, are the closing rate of your quotes. If you see that most people accept it without problems, then you did your job well. Even if you don't have thousands of visitors, even if so, people shouldn't really focus on vanity metrics. Of course, traffic is important because it leads to more leads, but the quality of the leads is important too. So you cannot just blog about anything. You have to blog about what your clients want and need.
But on the other hand, I don't know, can you hear me? Is the connection okay?
Yeah.
On the other hand, I would say if you have quality leads and if your strategy is targeted, which means that you target a specific audience, your ideal clients, the more, the better. So if you could get, like, for example, I was just trying to show you my screen where I have right now, only for this week, 15,000 engagement to my post and my content on LinkedIn for free, without any SEO training of mine, without any paid ads, without me consistently writing. Why is that? Because the algorithm of LinkedIn and such platforms, and of Google, because also Google is connected to LinkedIn, boost the visibility of your content to the right people, especially if you do that consistently. And it has also the filters. The filters of such platform can be used in such a way so you can, let's say, narrow down to the audience that you really want to contact, let's say through your prospecting or through your email marketing. So you can choose who is going to see, let's say, your profile, your content, by using such platforms where you can narrow down. And especially if this platform brings you 15K views in a week, in less than a week, to your content in a targeted way, then you go and you don't need anything else. But I respect also website, I respect blogging. I'm always, into practical and traditional ways of getting clients, like email marketing. So I had yesterday a masterclass on this. So all methods can give you results. It really depends on what you really like to do, where you would like to invest your time, your efforts, so as the clients to find you, and also to those methods to bring you the desirable results, okay, based on what you would like to get, what types of clients. So amazing. That's very short, but to the point advice that Natalia shared with us. Let's close this live. Natalia, can you give us 5 or 6 steps, let's say, or tips that you use to reach 6-figure business? And in general, you can share with us without sharing any confidential information or sensitive information for your business. Generally speaking, like if you could say 5 or 6 steps.
5 or 6 steps. So I think start with the end in mind. is probably the most important one. So you should have an idea, not a clear vision maybe, but just an idea of where you want to go. If you know that
Exactly.
this is your target, use it as like an inspiration, as a guiding light, and try and look for inspiration from different fields, different kinds of colleagues, marketing strategies that work for other professions too, not only ours.
Exactly.
In my case, it's all about the customers. So what do they want? What do they need? Is this something I can? Is there a service I could add potentially? Is this something I can do myself? Should I partner with someone else? And then competitors don't exist. Like in my mind, there is no competition because
Exactly.
we are freelancers. We are unique. So I can work in the same language combination as
Of
my
course. Of course.
fellow university classmates, but it doesn't mean we work in the same way. So you are uniquely you with your specializations, with your mindset, with your whatever, and focus on that. Don't be scared. Competitors don't exist, they are colleagues. Find ways to collaborate, to work together,
Mhm.
you know, and give back. Because in my
Definitely.
case, I think giving back through referrals, through advice, through whatever is one of the most important things. People will remember you. And
Exactly.
maybe this will come at the right time in your business when you most need to be remembered by someone.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So, purpose, vision, you mentioned, be collaborative, don't think about competition, you mentioned,
Yeah.
find out marketing methods that other people they have already used and they really work for them. Anything else before we
Give
close?
back. Give back.
But I had yesterday a question in the masterclass I gave, like the new year, new goals, let's expand our client list, and that's our business. Proven the masterclass I've been giving for the last many years. So someone asked me, Virginia, can I ask for testimonials or reviews on my LinkedIn profile or Pros profile? And what if my competitors, they see who is my client and they go, and they, let's say, still my client. So you see, it's a mindset. People, they think
Yes.
that by sharing the
Yes.
testimonials, the competitors will go and they will steal their clients. So it exists, what you already mentioned, having the fear of competition out there, and that holds them back. It holds them back from actually implementing marketing methods that would help them to grow, like sharing testimonials or having reviews or recommendations on your profiles. It's so powerful, and people, they are not sharing them because they're afraid they're going to lose clients. So thank you for sharing that, because that's really, really important. It's a mindset block that we need to overcome.
Well, if I had the same mentality, I wouldn't have taken 3 maternity leaves. Because during the maternity leaves, I did take at least 2 of the maternity leaves. I didn't work for 5 months, period. I didn't want to, and I couldn't for the laws that were in place at the time. And I basically passed all the jobs that came my way to colleagues. Then what should I have done? Just, tell the clients, sorry, I'm closed for 5 months? That's
Exactly.
crazy. You find solutions for your clients, and the solutions sometimes involve other people. And I think if you are scared of that, why? It doesn't make any sense for me. It doesn't really make any sense. I never
Exactly.
understood this approach.
And doesn't bring you the desired result. I might understand the fear because that's mindset blocks.
Sure.
That's what we're talking a lot about mindset. For me, 80% of the work is the mindset. If you don't have the right mindset, it will forever hold you back and you will never be able to take the action that's needed. So, mindset for me is 80% and 20% is actually implementation to put the action, because you joined the program of mine, you got the material, you got the knowledge, but if you didn't implement afterwards, if this didn't fit,
Yeah.
your business model and your goals, then what to expect? Because, okay, you bought a program, you invested, but then what? You need to implement, you need to take action, you need to go after your goals. So thank you so much, Natalia. Let's answer to Naz Altina question, then we close. Uh, how can I find direct clients with competitive rates? So you mentioned already one way. I don't know if there is anything else you would like to add. So you mentioned that you had already a client list. You actually evaluated the existing client list. You found those that they really paid without pressure. They were happy working with you. They didn't have many negotiations, back and forth communication. So one way, let's say, to find direct clients is actually through the existing list. Those are the
Yes.
really accept your competitive rates. Do you have any other answer or any other advice to Naz?
There are many, many ways of finding direct clients.
With
The problem
competitive
here,
rates, with competitive rates, here we have an extra factor. that we will be able to find the direct clients with competitive rates.
Yes, but I think it depends on the kind of niche you specialize in, because the way of finding clients strictly
Exactly.
depends on who your clients are. Like in my case, when I started, I worked with lawyers, for example. And how did I get to know the lawyers? By working in court.
Exactly.
The pay in court is ridiculous in Italy. So I didn't go there because of the job itself. I went there because these people would see me there. And by
Exactly.
seeing me there every week, basically, they would, connect the dots very easily. So this for me was marketing, and they see you in action. They see you working. They see that you are working well. So they are basically pre-qualified leads. And this is a way, but it worked for me because I knew that they were there. In another kind of field, things would be different, I guess. If you work for, I don't know, marketing agencies, where would you find them? I would probably look for them, I don't know, for the decision makers on LinkedIn.
You mentioned already some ways for people they're starting out, and I know that's really clever and people they have not thought about it. So you mentioned already the low season for most translators, so you can take
Yes.
advantage of low season like Christmas, summer in your country, depending on where you're based, to go after potential clients. There will always be a gap there in workflow from established, let's say, collaborators and translators they work with, so you can take that advantage and start working with some clients. That's very clever. That's great advice. You mentioned also that you show up where your clients are. So no matter what is your specialization, okay. Natalia said her own experience working with lawyers, but you can have different specializations. Find where your direct clients they really are, and how to qualify. They have competitive rates. For me, it's also what we do in my programs. You don't find clients with competitive rates. You establish yourself as the go-to expert. You establish your own competitive rates, and then it's your responsibility to find those clients who will value your work, your experience, and your rates without negotiating them. So for me, it's the other way around, and that's something we need to work a lot in my programs with mindset. People are seeking to find profitable clients online, and I can help you to do this, but first of all you need to understand what means competitive rate for you, because what you mean as a
Yes.
competitive rate, let's say, it's different in different countries, in different
Sure.
economies. So first of all you need to define what you mean as a competitive rate. You need to set your own rates so as you to be able to make a profitable business first, and then find clients who will respect and will accept those rates so as you not to have any other problems. So Naz, let us know where are you based and what's your specialization. Since Natalia doesn't know this background to give you more info on this, and then we can help you. We can give you more advice or insights on that. So we need to know where you're based and what type of clients you would like to work with based on your specialization. Before we close, my advice would be, let's say, my process. That's why I have the Fully Booked Translator Formula. Is as Natalia mentioned, to start with a goal, like where you would like to go. So a mentor, a consultant, or even yourself on your own to create a path that will take you there where you want to go, is to find out who is your ideal client. By ideal clients, I mean a person, a client, a company who really respects you, your values, your rates, everything. Then you set your own rates based on your living expense and your business model that will reassure the profit for your business so as to be able to grow. And then is to create your positioning. You position yourself as a go-to expert using marketing methods, using online platforms, your website, your LinkedIn profile, everything that Natalia mentioned already, plus many, many others are included there. So you need to position yourself as the go-to expert in that field of expertise you would like to be known about. So I'm revealing all the Fully Booked Translator Formula here. Then you use messaging that really converts. You need to talk to those people in such a way that converts them from visitors into paid clients. Then you need to be consistent with the marketing method you will choose. Like Natalia, she chose her website and her blog. I choose LinkedIn, prospecting, and email marketing. So it really depends on what client acquisition method you will try, but you need to stick to it. Maximum 2 or 3 client acquisition strategies, and you need to stick to them. You need to be consistent. You need always to stay on top of the head of your potential clients. And then, of course, for me, it's also the 3% conversion rate. You need to have some numbers. Yes, you not need like thousands if they're not qualified leads. But if you have also qualified leads, quality, and if you can also have the numbers, then you need, because Natalia, she mentioned when she started out, Natalia, you mentioned you sent thousands of emails. I remember
Yes.
myself, I sent 200 emails in 1 week. Most people, when I ask them, what do you do to get clients? They tell me, I sent 10 emails. I sent 5 emails. I contacted 3 people on LinkedIn. This doesn't bring you, enough numbers just to evaluate if what you do really works or not. You need numbers as well. And by numbers, Natalia mentioned thousands of emails. I sent 200. I have people in my mentoring programs that were able to contact 2,000 potential clients in 2 weeks, and they got back the investment multiple times. So yes, quality first, but also numbers just to get the 3% conversion rate. So that's my advice, Naz. I hope that we have answered your questions. Thank you, everyone who joined us. Let's close with this, Natalia. What do you think was the best, let's say, I don't know, memory you have by working with me? What is the best thing that you felt, like your experience working with me? Or let's say the advice I gave you or the material that I gave you, what was the best part of it?
I think the practical advice, the applicable practical advice, because I left the coaching call with really like a list of things to do and to improve and follow up on that, which is necessary, because without any follow up, it wouldn't work. So it creates accountability, but at the same time, getting feedback is crucial. So these are the 2 things that worked for me.
Practical advice and feedback. I reassure that 100% you have your marketing material reviewed. Natalia gets compliments on her LinkedIn profile. Even if Natalia, we can do a few things, so reach me out. We can definitely, always pro bono. Whenever, guys, I'm telling you, I can help you. Don't ask me. I don't ask for a paid. I don't seek paid advice. I'm always, giving that free of charge anyway, and I really like to help people. So thank you, Nicola. You're here. Amazing. Thank you, Naz. Thank you, Ileana. Thank you, all of you guys that you've stayed with us for so long. If you would like to find out more, reach me out at info@bmentoring.com. Natalia, if someone would like to reach you out, which method they should use? Your website?
LinkedIn. Use LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Yeah. So you can find Natalia, but Betelli, you see her name here on your screen. So reach her out and say hello. We are all of us colleagues, as Natalia mentioned. There is no reason to treat each other competitive. Let's find a way, all of us, to grow. There is market share for all of us out there. Let's make that happen. Natalia, so inspiring your story. Thank you so much. Being a mom with 3 kids, making a 6-figure business. You are a role model. You are a role model, and thank you.
Oh my God.
You
are. I don't think so. But yeah.
Many people with 3 kids and working like in our industry, making 6-figure from home, like as a solopreneur or small boutique business owners. I think that's not that.
I don't know. I mean, about the 3 kids, my role model has 5. She's also a solopreneur. So, wow. But yeah, I think
you might be able to join us. So I would really like to have 5 kids. But also, I know Catherine Lenson, also from Canada. She has 4 kids working from home. She was able to make, 6-figure. That might happen, but still doesn't really, lower the level of your success and of you being a role model as well. It's always a matter of us, it's exceeding our expectation and become better and better in comparison to our past, let's say, self. It's us against us. Amazing. Anything else before we close, Natalia?
No, I think we said everything we could to help and inspire other people.
Exactly. And in any case, you can reach us out on LinkedIn, Virginia Cacibi, Natalia Betelli, reach us out or via email, whatever you want. You see here also the link for the Fully Booked Translator Formula. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Natalia. You stay here with me. And we close. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.